And now we have Miss Barbara Fay with Getting Their Ride Share.
Hello everyone. I hope you all had a nice St. Patty's Day over the weekend. I'm real excited about being here today and having the opportunity to talk about transportation. My name is Barbara Fay and I'm the director of Getting Their Ride Share. Hopefully most of you have heard of our organization, but you may not have. We're a nonprofit and we help provide transportation for seniors using volunteer drivers. Getting Their Ride Share's goal is to help improve the quality of life for Harford County's age-eligible residents by providing an affordable and reliable transportation service utilizing community volunteers and resources. We started back in 2010, and it was a request from the county because they recognized that there was a transportation gap in the northern part of Harford County. Unfortunately, again, as Rob had said, with the resources that's available, there's not public transportation available up in the northern part of the county. And so they were trying to find a way to address this issue, and they came to the Wilson Ministry Center, which is actually part of Grace Episcopal Church in Darlington. And it's kind of a hub for the northern area. And so they asked them if they would be willing to take upon a program to try to address this issue. They did. There were some women that, actually quite a few community people that took it upon themselves to research and look at different types of ways that they could do this, and they decided that a volunteer program would actually work out the best. The program is funded in part by the state senior program grant, and the county gives us money. Hopefully the grant and aid will be, we just applied for, and we do private grants. Drescher Foundation has helped us quite a lot in the last few years as well. Who we serve? We serve ambulatory seniors age 60 and older. And again, our volunteers use their own cars, and so we cannot do wheelchairs. Again, it's too much liability for that. They have to reside in the northern Harford County. I'll talk about a little bit more as far as our service area, and low to moderate income. Our service area. Some of you may have seen our little magnets that were up front, which were we had from the very beginnings, but our service area has grown over the last few years. Again, we concentrate on the northern part of the county. This last year, in 2017, there was another program similar to ours that was doing more Bel Air, Forest Hill, the southern part of the county, Senior Express, you may have heard of. Unfortunately, they had to close their doors, so they are no longer in service. So again, the county contacted us and said, we still really need some help in this area, particularly for medical appointments. So we agreed to take on Forest Hill and parts of Churchville. We also agreed to take on some parts of Bel Air, but only for those people that were previously with Senior Express. So you may come across somebody that lives in Bel Air that says that they're getting transportation from Getting Their Ride Share. That does not mean we're taking Bel Air. We're trying to not have those people be all of a sudden, with no transportation available to them. So we decided we would go ahead and kind of grandfather them in. So that's kind of our service area for going forward. All of our passengers are registered in the program before they can request transportation. I did leave some of the samples of the applications on the front desk. Some of you may have gotten that. We screen all of our passengers ahead of time. We screen all of our volunteers ahead of time. We make sure that they get a criminal background check. We want to make sure everybody's as safe as possible, particularly if you're going in somebody else's car. All of our volunteers also have first aid and CPR training, and we do, in order to be a volunteer driver, we have to get a copy of their DMV record, make sure that they're also a driver. Our rides, we're a door-to-door service. We have no limitations regarding day, time, or type of trip, except we don't do airport trips. Otherwise, we'd be an airport service person. We can go outside of the county. So particularly since we're in the northern part of the county, sometimes, particularly now with West Cecil Medical Center, we can go over there and we can take people to that center. We can go into Pennsylvania. We can go down to Baltimore. We can go to Johns Hopkins. We can go anywhere as long as the volunteer is willing to go. So it's not limited to that. But again, the trips that are farther away, it might be a little bit more difficult to find somebody that's willing to go. However, I'm always surprised. I have great volunteers, and they're always, oh, I'll do it. So we request a 2 or 3 day notice minimum ahead of time. Some people know their appointments ahead of time, so they'll give us. I have some people that have given me appointments for May already. Others, it's more weekly, or the next couple weeks I have so many appointments. We do try to limit the number of rides we give a single person within a month. So we, and that is 5. If now again, if we don't do dialysis because of that, we just don't have the resources right now. But what we will do is, for instance, a family is taking, this happened maybe last year or the year before. There was a family that had to take their father to dialysis, and their mother couldn't be left alone. And the son broke his back, so he could no longer take him to dialysis. And so he had until he got through rehab. So we ended up doing that for a certain amount of time. So it was probably 3 or 4 months that we took their father to dialysis. We will do that, but there has to be kind of a start and finish, because again, we just don't have the resources for that. If somebody has PT, and so they're going to need PT twice a week for the next 4 or 5 weeks, well, again, that will probably put them over that 5, but that's okay, because again, it's special circumstances. But if somebody's going to the senior center and they want to go twice a week, we can't really do that twice a week, every week, for those types of things. So we could do one of them, but we can't do both days. So you just have to, we have to be, think a little bit outside the box as far as that. But 90% of our requests are actually medical requests. Our cost is $6 within Harford County. That's round trip. However, if they're going to Johns Hopkins or GBMC or something down, that's a whole different story. And usually that's about $20 or $25. It's still very reasonable when you think of the alternative. No one's turned away if they can't afford it. We do get scholarship money, and we're not going to turn anyone away. Payments are made directly to the local ministry center. None of our drivers take cash for money. So there's no money handled at all between the driver and the passenger. And we do have group rides available. So it's not just for medical appointments. We also understand how important it is for seniors to stay connected. And so we will, we have a van that was donated to us, and so we will take a group of people to Walmart, and they'll go shopping and they will have lunch together. Or they can do anything as long as they just call us ahead of time and we have a driver that's available for the video. Our volunteers, currently we have 20 fantastic volunteer drivers. The nice thing about this program, if you know of anybody or yourself are interested in being a volunteer, it's extremely flexible. And so they just basically, I send out a schedule of what the ride requests are, and they can say, yeah, I'll take that next week or 2 weeks or not. They can look at it and decide which ones they want to take. They do use their own car. They do not accompany the passengers, though, to their appointments. It is a door-to-door service. Now, they will help them in the car. They will help them out of the car if necessary. They will help them up into the facility and open the door for them. That's really as far as they are. Now, again, a lot of our volunteers will go an extra mile and they will go in, but it's not something that we can offer. We also are partners with Cecil Harford RSVP program, and so that's a fantastic program that we partnered with that also has provided us with mileage reimbursement for the volunteers that are also part of their program. So that's helped us as far as our money. Last year in FY 2017, our drivers drove over 12,000 miles. Harford County, the northern part, going in and back and forth to like up Chesapeake, whatever. I mean, it could be anywhere from 40 to 60 miles round trip of these roads. Passengers, we currently have, actually this is going up. We have actually almost about 100 registered passengers right now. Again, 60 years and older, which is 30% of our service area, is our seniors, so it's a huge population. Again, 19% of them are low income, and you can just see, that we've got the projections as far as this population growing is pretty significant. As I mentioned before, all of our passengers do need to be ambulatory. Easy enrollment. As I mentioned, I had the passenger registration forms, and I didn't bring them for everybody, or enough for everybody apparently, but you can get them on our website, and there's a little tab there that says forms. You just download it, you fill it out. The passenger does need to sign them. I can't do it over the phone, and so there's a waiver that they have to sign. But they can, if they don't have access to the web, to the website, they can always call my office, and we'll be happy to send them an application as well. They fill it out. Now, what a lot of people will do is they'll do a prepayment. So they might know that they've got 3 or 4 appointments in the next couple months, and so they will just send a check along with their application to start an account. So they'll have a $24, and then we just keep a ongoing account of what they have. So again, we try to make it real easy. There's also no enrollment fee, so it's kind of a no-brainer. So again, we're just trying to keep everybody connected, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Mm-hmm.
Is there any thought to expanding now that Senior Express is not around to include more of those areas?
The question is there any thought about expanding? Right now, it's really it's determined by our resources. And unfortunately, it's not even the money as much as it is volunteers. And what I don't want to happen is for us to say, yep, we'll be happy to take on all of Harford County. And then people call and I don't have anybody to take them. So I've been really careful about expanding the program in steps. I get the volunteers, I can expand. I get more volunteers, I can expand. And so and when we took on Forest Hill, that doubled our senior population as far as the service, as far as the potential number of passengers. So for now, I am and unfortunately, we did get a couple of the volunteers from Senior Express that came over to us, but that's not enough. So not to say if we don't get, if you get the word out and we get more volunteers, or maybe I've been trying to work with Upper Chesapeake to try to maybe work with their volunteer program and try to work together. So that's something that you can plug. But that's really what it's all about. I have to have the resources. Mm-hmm.
What do you do about insurance as far as liability?
The liability insurance, there's 3 types of insurance, actually. The first one is the volunteers insurance, so that would be number 1. The second one is we are part of the Grace Episcopal Church. We're under their umbrella, so that would be number 2. And then for those that are part of the RSVP program, they also have insurance for anybody that's part of their program. And that insurance covers additional car insurance as well as disability. If something happens while you're doing your volunteer work, they have extra coverage for that as well.
I saw earlier in the presentation saying that it covers parts of Havre Grace.
Correct. The question is, again, part of our service area, do we cover parts of Havre Grace? Havre Grace borders Darlington.
Okay.
So we do not include downtown Havre Grace because Harford Transit covers downtown Havre Grace. What we do cover are the areas closer to Darlington, which is our service area. What we've tried not to, again, we have to make decisions as far as where will our resources be used the best. And so we've really tried not to utilize those resources where there's public transportation already.
Darlington to here, how do you, the driver brings somebody here, how do they get back? They have another, the driver certainly would wait all that time.
They do. And so what they do is they have a choice. The rider or the driver can choose to have to drive round trip, or they could choose one way. Most of the time they'll go round trip, and that's why it's called getting their ride share, because what they'll do is they share a ride to Bel Air, drop the passenger off, they go run errands. So usually most appointments are only an hour, hour and a half. And so then the passenger calls them on their cell phone, either if they're at a medical appointment and they don't have a cell phone, they have somebody at the desk. The driver gives them a card that has their cell phone on it, their phone number, and they just call them. And all of our drivers stay within 10 or 15 minutes to wherever they drop their passenger off. And they come back, pick them up, and take them home.
Last question.
Anything else? So put the word out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barbara. And now we have Carla Walton from Priority 1.
Good afternoon, everyone. I know that it is approximately 4:09, and I am between you and your ride home, so we'll try to be very, very quick. Actually, my presentation is very, very short. Our mission really is just to provide safe, convenient, and quality transportation for ambulatory and or wheelchair clients. And we go all around Harford County, Cecil County, Baltimore City, Baltimore County. Most of our clients, as of late, we have a lot of clients that are going back and forth between Perryville. We have a lot of VA clients right now, and also going to the Baltimore VA hospital on Green Street. We have several clients that go back and forth to GBMC for various treatments or doctor's appointments. But we also have clients that call and say, I need to get my hair done. I haven't got my hair done in 6 months. Or I'd like to go to church on this particular Sunday. My great-granddaughter is getting baptized and no one can get me there. I have clients that say, you know, my sister lives in Essex and I would really like to go see her. She's, you know, not doing very well. Whatever the case is, we generally will be able to accommodate. Our rates vary, obviously, depending on the distance. And we also do offer a concierge service where we will, for an additional fee, we will actually go into the appointment with the client. And we do have several clients, several family members who have hired us to do that because they are working every day. They can't get mom or dad back and forth to the appointment, or when they send them via whatever mode of transportation, they call and say, hey mom, how was your doctor's appointment? Oh, it's fine. Oh, okay. So what did the doctor say? The doctor said I'm fine. Well, that doesn't give them all the information they need. So our driver, they will take copious notes. They will make sure that that information is either text to the son, daughter, grandmother, granddaughter, whoever is hiring us to do that for them. We'll also take the client to the pharmacy to pick up their prescription. Oftentimes our clients do get a new prescription or a renewed prescription right after that appointment. So we'll take them over, and most doctors are now transmitting via their computer. So by the time we leave that appointment, that prescription is already there and waiting for them. So on the way back to their facility or to their home, we stop, pick up the prescription, and keep on going. Let's see, next slide. That's really about it. If you know someone that needs a ride, if they need assistance, we do network with several caregiving organizations where we will partner caregivers or caregiving organizations with seniors who need additional assistance inside the home, because our drivers, we don't go inside the home necessarily. We will do door to door if we know that someone is having some mobility issues and they can get to the door. Obviously, we're going to go to the door, make sure that they're getting out safely, getting into the car or into the van, making sure that they get into the doctor's appointment, so forth and so on. And that was 4 minutes. Any questions? Okay, first question.
What are your general rates?
My general rates, generally in and around in and around Harford County, somewhere between $20 and $25. And so let's say if someone's going from Havre de Grace or Elkton to Upper Chesapeake, that might be $25. And that's round trip. Hold that thought.
That was my same question. If it was like per mile rate or like just a fixed rate that you do.
Generally, the per mile rate or the higher cost is when we are going from Havre de Grace to GBMC or to Baltimore City, something like that. That's when it gets a little higher. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Yes. Scar. Yes, you. Yes.
So, do they help people get, like, I have an elderly couple that live in a condo they own, and it's 10 steps to get out of the condo.
Mm-hmm.
Do they help that person get out of the condo, down the steps?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And we walk where we have clients that walk really, really slow. I mean, they may say, "Oh no, I'm walking, I'm fine." Really? And it takes 25 minutes to get from their front door to the curb.
Oh.
I mean, we've seen a lot. We have definitely seen a lot. But our drivers are very patient, and so we get it done. And we generally arrive at least 20 minutes before ahead of the travel time to the appointment. Because the one thing we don't want is for our seniors to be late to their appointments. If it is a new doctor, we know that they need to get there at least 15 or 20 minutes before their appointment time, because there are definitely some new patient paperwork that they have to fill out. We have, for our concierge service, especially if it's someone that doesn't have really great range of motion in terms of writing, there's a lot of paperwork that has to be filled out, and we will generally we'll ask them the questions, we'll fill it out for them, and the only thing we won't do is sign, and so they have to sign their own name. So whatever it is, we generally will be able to. We don't change clothes. We have had clients say, "Oh, well, I'm not dressed. Can you help me get dressed?" No, we can't do that. Nope. We will tie shoes. We will, loop shoes, no problem. We'll even put on boots, but we won't get you dressed. That we can't do. Nope. Yes, the one behind you. Sorry, Scar.
What if the patient has oxygen? Can you deal with that too?
Yeah.
Oxygen test? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ma'am in the green sweater.
And what is the concierge service?
What do you mean?
Fee for going to the appointment?
It really depends on what they're asking them to do. We've had clients where they're it's actually generally their children. We have had them say to us, okay, not only do we need you to go into this appointment, but we need you to take notes. We need you to call us from the doctor's office, and so that you can have us on speakerphone as the doctor's talking to mom or dad, and take the notes, and not only send it to me, but send it to my 3 other siblings who live in 4 different, 2 or 3 different states. Conference call, can you call us afterwards? We'd like to get on the phone with you and say, well, what was mom's demeanor when the doctor was telling her A, B, and C? So it really runs the gamut. It really does. So I couldn't say it will be an extra $25, because $25 might get you your texting and the call to say, hey, listen, mom is home right now. She was a little bit hungry, so we stopped to get lunch. We know that she has dietary restrictions, so she didn't have anything with salt. She ordered A, B, and C. She ate most of it. She ate half of it. She ate all of it.
All right, last question.
Oh, yes, sorry. Hi.
Hi. So my question also regarding your concierge service is, so with them, do you hire like specific people with certain backgrounds if you're going to be providing that type of service because they're dealing with the health information? And then like what regulations do you have in place for that?
It really depends on what their needs are. Again, we do partner with several different caregiving services. So let's say, for instance, we have someone who is they have Alzheimer's, and so we will call that particular caregiving company and say, okay, do you have any caregivers that are available on this day at this time to accompany the driver with this particular client? And that caregiver needs to have experience working with Alzheimer and dementia clients. If we have a diabetic client and we know that this person is they have to eat within a certain amount of time, this is a long appointment, so we try to pre-plan with them and say, okay, are you sure you aren't going to need someone with you? Yeah, you know what, this is a 2-hour procedure, it's at GBMC, you know what, I think I might need someone. No problem. So we will make sure that we have a caregiver that is familiar with that person's symptoms and issues, so that we can partner the right people together.
Thank you.
That was my question? Okay, thanks.
Well, again, thank you all for your time, and hopefully we will see you next month. Training for April will be from the Maryland Department of Transportation. Drive safely.